It's bad enough when every April the government comes around, taps you on the shoulder, and demands you cough up your fair share to supposedly keep America running. Or you can take advantage of their personal hospitality at a place like Leavenworth. But when you learn what the Internal Revenue Service is doing with that money that could have been used for a new massive barbecue grill for you, then a little uprising just might be in order. Let's start there. Our weekly foray in opening your eyes about such things. Welcome back the Vice President for Policy and Communications at Citizens Against Government Waste, Leslie Paige. Leslie, I know full well there are people across America right now who will be going, there's my barbecue grill that I could have used, when they find out the IRS paid almost $6 million in bonuses between January the 1st, 2010 and February the 2nd, 2015. Bonuses for the IRS? Whatever happened to this thing called oversight?
Oh, oversight. That's a good question. Yes, they were. And by the way, those bonuses were in abeyance for one full year during the first year of sequestration. The commissioner of the IRS had said that he didn't have enough money for a lot of things. In fact, answering the phones for taxpayers during tax season, he couldn't answer the phone, and they couldn't give taxpayers good advice.
Wait a minute, hang on one sec there. Wait, what you just said here, the IRS didn't have enough money?
Oh, yes, that's the resource. It's the mantra that you hear every time IRS Commissioner Koskinen comes before Congress. We have no money. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough money to handle the incoming calls to answer all of your questions, taxpayers, about your very complicated taxes. We don't have enough money for customer service. We're backlogged. That's always the mantra. However, in December of 2014, he reinstated bonuses for some of their high tax attorneys, high-level tax attorneys at the IRS. So somehow or other, they suddenly found some money. Well, at least $6 million.
From what I'm looking at here is the IRS had access to $500 million in fees that it could use to deliver services, but then they used the money for other things. Again, Leslie, it's astounding how often we meet here and we see a governmental agency here spending money and nobody seems to be putting a thumb on these guys.
And what's even more fascinating, and this will kind of segue us a little bit into our next topic, which is improper payments. The IRS, through the Earned Income Tax Credit, that's the third highest program in the federal government for improper payments. It's run by the IRS. They cannot verify, they cannot authenticate that the returns they're getting that have Earned Income Tax Credit elements are actually not being ripped off, that the people are not ripping off the program, and yet they've got time and money to give bonuses. So there's a lot of sort of dysfunction in the agency, to say the least, and this is just one of those weird areas where and in fact they've given bonuses to people who are themselves scofflaws inside the agency. They've given performance bonuses to people, let me repeat, who have not paid their taxes and who are willfully non-compliant.
I always said I had to go to work for the IRS. It seems like the perfect place to do it. However, until then, when I realized that I'm actually an honest person. Before we move on, very quickly, though, is there anybody in government now trying to settle this, trying to solve it, trying to stop this?
No. The answer is, I think the short answer is no. First of all, on the bonus situation, there is no sight line that we all have into the bonuses across all agencies. In fact, the tax administration IG, who oversees IRS, basically said that the agencies have no guidance, no agency-wide guidance to help them determine whether or not how to give bonuses and who should get them and why. And what we find is it's just a sort of a patchwork of criteria that they use and timing, and sometimes it's up to the discretion. In fact, at the IRS, it's up to the discretion of the commissioner how he wants to handle that kind of stuff anyway. So there's a lack of transparency on the bonuses in general.
All right, so let's
and
stop
no one I know. I mean, the Office of Personnel Management must have has data on this, but they don't make that public in a way that's usable to taxpayers.
Heaven forbid, heaven forbid. About the minute or so that I have left here, let's stop talking about chump change here. Let's talk about the real stuff here. Government waste. Fiscal 2014. Went from $105.8 billion to $124.7 billion. This is what we talk about every single week. This is just wasted money, isn't it? This is just basically spending things that could be available for seniors, could be available for kids, could feed people, but it's just wasted money.
This is what we call improper payments. That's the new term since about 2010, when we passed several laws that require agencies to report out their improper payments. And that does not all mean all fraud. It can be mistakes, payments that are not
Oh, heaven forbid the IRS make a mistake, Leslie. Please stop yourself right now. Don't go any farther.
But the improper payment rates are going up everywhere, Ed. I mean, it's gone up $19 billion over 1 year. The three major drivers of that improper payment rate are Medicare, no surprise, Medicaid, no surprise, and the earned income tax credit over at the IRS, also no surprise. These programs are growing exponentially, and we are not getting control of the money flowing out the door improperly. That's a huge problem. It's going to get even bigger.
We do this every week because we want the American public, our viewers and people, to get angry about it, because this is your money that is being wasted. We also then send you to the website. Go to cagw.org, learn more about what's happening and what they're trying to do in at least bringing this to the public forum, which is what we will do as well. I'm going to go find a good barbecue and buy it right now. Leslie Paige, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you next week. Speaking of not wasting a single second, Dick Morris next on The Hardline.